Hey y'all, welcome to Intro to Programming. I hope you guys are having a good day. In this video, I'm going to cover what a string data type is and also give you guys an introduction to variables. First, let's look at what a data type is. A data type is a type of data. It is something that tells the compiler at runtime how to treat a specific type of data or how to treat a value. So let's actually look at some concrete examples. Now, picking up where we left off, all we have right here is the console.writeLine hello world. Well, this right here is a data type, and this is a string data type. A string data type is anything that's enclosed by double quotes. So anything inside of these double quotes is going to be known or considered treated as a string data type. Now, even if we put numbers in here like 4, 5, 6, that is still treated as a string data type at runtime. That's because it's enclosed with the double quotes. Now, if we were to take off the double quotes, then that's now known as what's called an integer data type, and we're going to cover what those are in the next video. But okay, so we have hello world here. And now that you guys have a brief understanding, a simple understanding of what a string data type is, let's go over what variables are and how we can use strings and variables together. So a variable is, think of it as a box. It's a box that you can store something in and then use it at a later time. And a variable is no different. It's basically a storage location that you can store a piece of data in and then use that later on whenever you want. You can reference that at any other point in your program after you initialize and create the variable. So let's look at an example. I'm going to get rid of that. And I'm going to type out a very simple variable statement here. Let's go first name equals Frodo, because Lord of the Rings is the best movie trilogy that has ever happened in the history of the world. And then, okay, so we have this is a very basic statement, and there's about 4 components here. So let's break this down. First, we have this keyword string. A keyword is any built-in word into the C# language. So that's what a string is, or a keyword is. So we have a string keyword, and this is describing what type of variable or what type of data is going to be stored inside of this variable. And then we have first name, which is the name of the variable. So that's how we reference it. And then we have the assignment operator, which is assigning the value to the variable. And then here we have the actual value, which is a string. Now, remember, you have to have those double quotes because it's a string. If I took those off, I'm going to get an error message. So we need the double quotes there. Okay, now let's go ahead and do a console. Console.writeLine first name. I'm going to run it. And you'll see that I get Frodo here. That's because it's printing out the value of that variable that we referenced right here. So, whoops. Okay. So now you know how to use a variable and what they are. Let's kind of go over a little bit more on how you can actually use them together. So let's do string last name equals Baggins. And then let's say I want to get both of these variables on the same line and print both of them on the same line to the console. So I can use an addition operator and then put the next variable right there. And this is known as what's called string concatenation. It's a big fancy word, but basically all that means is string combining strings together. Now, if we go ahead and run that, you'll see that it actually combines first name and last name together. Frodo Baggins. It's kind of mashed together, so I can really quickly just put a space right here, and it'll make it look a little better when we print it out to the console. See, Frodo space Baggins. Oops. Now, we can do the same thing if I were to do Frodo plus, Baggins. And if I did that, you're going to see that I get Frodo Baggins, but I'm not actually using the variables. I'm just creating new strings right here. And these strings are a one-time use. I can't use those over and over and again unless I type them out again. And even then, it's not the same string. It's a new string. First name, I could print that out 100 times, and I'm referencing the same string every single time. So that's how you use variables, and that's string concatenation. Let's actually look at one more thing before we go on to the next video, in reassignment. So I can reassign first name equals Samwise. So notice that I didn't have to put the keyword in front of first name. That's because first name is already declared over here, and I don't need to. I have to put a string inside this first name. And I already confirmed that up in this initialization. So I don't need to say that it's a string again. In fact, this is the only correct way to do it. If I were to put string here, it's going to think that I'm trying to create a new variable, but there's already one that has that name with it associated with it. So I wouldn't be able to do that. So now if I were to console.writeLine, oh, if you don't know how I just did that so fast, if you hit C, W, and then tab twice, it'll autofill console.writeLine for you. There's a bunch of tricks like that in Visual Studio. I'll try to mention them as I go along. Okay, so console.writeLine, first name, and I'm going to console.writeLine first name up here. So if I run it, you can see that console.writeLine first name is Frodo right here. That's because at this point in time, Frodo is still assigned a first name, but then I reassign Samwise to first name and then print it out again, and I get Samwise. So that is what's called reassignment. Okay, guys, that's it for this video. In the next video, we're going to cover some different data types, specifically different numerical data types, and then working with those with arithmetics. So I'll see you over there.